Okay, guys, we're going to talk about patient movement. Let me move my screen over here. I'll put it over here. Okay, so ambulation. Ambulation just means to move. Most of the time, if a patient, resident is ambulatory, they can walk. They can get up on their own and walk. Whenever we're choosing an ambulation aid, we need to make sure that we base it on the patient's age, the type of injury they have, their condition, and their weight-bearing status. As far as their age, we don't typically give crutches to older people because it takes a lot of upper body strength and a lot of balance. And we wouldn't give a cane most likely to a younger person if they can use crutches instead. And a lot of that just has to do with preference and what's acceptable and what is preferred by the patient. If you need more help than a cane or crutches, and a lot of times older people would use a walker where younger people may use 2 crutches. And whenever we are ambulating, we always use a gait belt. And these are sort of like the belt you would wear around your pants anyway to keep your pants up. But this is used to give a healthcare worker something to hold on to whenever they are assisting someone to ambulate or helping them to get in and out of the bed, that kind of stuff. Again, a cane is helped mainly for balance. There are different types of canes. A single point cane, which is what's in the picture. This is a single point because there's one point on the end. That would just be used for balance. So someone who has, maybe they just get off balance easily. Maybe they've had a very slight stroke and still have the use of all of their extremities, but they just tend to get maybe a little dizzy sometimes or get off balance. If they are needing a little more assistance with a cane, but not as much as a walker, then you would give them maybe a quad cane, and that would have 4 tips on the bottom. Where this has 1, it would have 4. And typically the person will hold the cane on their strong side. If they have a weak side, they would use the cane on the strong side. And you want to make sure that the handle of the cane is at the head of the femur and that the patient's elbow is flexed around 25 to 30 degrees. Crutches, most of you are familiar with the axillary crutches. And they're usually supposed to come down about 2 inches below the axillary or under the arm area. And there are different gaits that can be used with these crutches. Let's say that you fractured your right foot and the doctor said you couldn't put weight on it. So you would only use the crutches and your left foot to walk. And you would leave that right foot off the ground, which would be non-weight bearing. Then there's the forearm kind of crutches. And then there's platform. Okay. And these are for people that have very weak grips. And they would have this kind of crutch. Correct fitting for crutches is patient and crutch tips form a tripod. Crutch tips are 4 to 6 inches in front and to the side of the patient's foot, just like the picture shows. And then again, 2 inches between the axillary and the crutch, and elbows are flexed exactly the same as they are for a cane or for a walker. It's 25 to 30 degrees. There are different crutch gaits, just so you know. I'm not really going to go over these a lot, but there are all kinds of different crutch gaits depending on what the doctor has allowed you to do. There's another one, a 3-point, and that's what I talked about a while ago, where one leg is non-weight bearing. And then as part of the crutch gait, you can have a swing through where one leg is non-weight bearing, and then you would swing the other one to it. So you put the crutches forward and you sort of swing to it. All right, a walker is an ambulation aid that provides support, and the patient must be strong enough to hold themselves upright. So as long as they can walk and stand, usually they can use a walker. There are different types of walkers. This one is just your standard, okay? It doesn't fold, it doesn't roll. This one is actually a folding and a rolling one. This one's a folding one. This is a platform walker. That's for people that have very weak grip strength again. And it's the same fitting as the others. Top of the femur, 25 to 30 degrees. There's also different walker gaits. There's a step 2 and a 3-point, and a swing 2 and a 2-point. And without me showing you these, it's a little difficult to explain. You won't see test questions on this, however. All right, we can't do these. All right.